My name is Kessy Ekomo. I'm from the Central African Republic, and I'm the 2014 alumna of the Presidential Precinct. I think my experience with the Presidential Precinct really um, make a real change in my life, because the moment I joined the program, it was a moment when I was questioning myself on my role as a young person, as a young African, and mainly specifically as a young Central African, at the role that I can play for my country. And my experience with the Precinct is that it's really helped me to shape my vision, because the project I work on during all my trainings with the Presidential Precinct is the one I bring back home. And then I implement my organization, URU, which is which means like a takeoff in our national language. And the objective is really to promote and support the contribution of young people to peace and development in Central African Republic. After 10 years, my organization is now really the first one big network of young people in Central African Republic. We cover over 90% of the country, and we also have networks all around Africa, doing supporting young people, connecting them to each other, and really bringing the voice of young people around the decision table. The situation in Central African Republic is quite particular, because we used to, people used to get to know us based on the conflict that we faced in 2013, and we're still facing it actually. But now in all the newspaper, what you can read about us is more on the presence of Wagner, which is a mercenary group really close to the Kremlin in Russia. And their presence there completely changed the perception of people on us. Recently, NBC presenter Mr. Engel traveled Central African Republic to try to understand what is happening, the presence of the Wagner mercenaries.
Kessy Ekomo is a civil society activist and one of the few people here speaking out against Wagner.
Do you think one day the people of this country will have access to the wealth of their country?
It's a long way to go. But I will not be there to see it. I don't think my son will be there to see it, or
Your son is only 4.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think that he will be there to see it, because it's a really long, long way to go. But the thing that we have to do is to teach people, to push our people to really, kind of regain access. To say that this country is our country.
It was interesting, because during the conversation with him, I realized that the perception of UN, maybe let's say US people on our country, is based first on the conflict that we face, but also on the presence of the mercenaries. And I think that people don't really pay attention to what the population, the perception of the population on the situation, but also their point of view in general on it. And for me, it's something that it's not just linked to situation in CAR. It's something, it's a reality that you can see all around Africa. Africa is changing. The world is changing, and Africa mainly is changing. You can see, based on the different groups around the continent, but also the fact that there's more and more young people trying to, to be vocal on the situation in their country, and to really try to show what they want and what they need. Like I said, an institution as a Presidential Precinct should really take time to listen more, because, based on my experience with the Presidential Precinct, I think it's possible for that institution to really bring the voice of young people from Africa, but also, the future of the continent, let's say, the future leader of the continent. With the Presidential Precinct, for me, is not like the UN, It's a space that it's a co-creation space. And it's something, as I said, that you don't find a lot around the world today. And I think it really has an impact. When I look back from 2014, till today, and I see, all the work that I'm doing now, for me, it's just amazing, because I didn't expect that experience with the Presidential Precinct to really completely changed my life. Just for example, I can say that, based on all the work that the fact that I designed my project, via the Presidential Precinct during my training there, really helped me and opened to me the door of the Security Council, the UN Security Council. I briefed the Security Council twice on the role of young people for peace building, not just in Africa, but around the world. I've been appointed by the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to work in the team of experts, to develop a new study on the contribution of young people to peace building. And in my country, actually, I'm a young advisor of our president. So time to time, and really several times, like he come to me to ask for advices regarding how he can help young people better, or what he can do in terms of diplomacy. My mother used to tell me that it's better to be a kingmaker than king. And I think it's something that my experience and the way my career is going, thanks to the presidential Precinct program, is where I'm going. Like kingmaker, yeah, it's something that is good for me.